Welcome to episode 69 of Talking Dairy. How do you take a break from the farm? Farmers across the country, of all ages and stages, are hitting the beach to head along to Surfing for Farmers sessions this summer. DairyNZ is proud to come on board as a Surfing for Farmers Grassroots partner to support farmers coming together off-farm to catch up, have fun, and boost their health and well-being. We're talking to Southland dairy farmers Rob Black and Katrina Thomas to share more about what Surfing for Farmers is all about. Rob tells us why he keeps coming back for more, and Katrina, who's a Surfing for Farmers coordinator and is involved in Rural Support Trust, shares how farmers can get involved up and down the country. This week's host is Gerard Ace.
Katrina, Rob, welcome and thanks for talking surfing with me today.
Yeah, that's fine, Gerard. It's great to be here to do something I've never done before. So, as in recording, not surfing, but, well, that too, recording.
Katrina, you're a dairy farmer. You're involved with a variety of community initiatives. Just talk a bit more about your role with Rural Support Trust and their partnership with Surfing for Farmers.
We're here at Ray's Bush in Western Southland, and we've had Perfect Paddy, the contract milker, now for 12 years, which we're very lucky. So having Paddy on board as a contract milker, that's been able to give me the ability to actually get involved more in the community. So I don't have a full-time role here on farm. My main emphasis is actually now. It's really the spring during calving and then looking after the young stock at grazing. So that gives me the opportunity to be involved in the Rural Support Trust, like I said, regionally and nationally. And it's the sort of job I can do remotely. I can do it anywhere. Which is fantastic. And the other thing is also are constantly on standby to be called into the command centre if we have an adverse event or any sort of event. All of us are trained because we all specialise in different areas. So part of the Rural Support Trust, because of the locations, we're regionally throughout the country, everyone has dedicated roles in there. Some look after wellbeing, some are like the communication like myself, and we're all trained in that, but we're also trying to encourage all the Rural Support Trusts to get what's called SIMS training so you can be in the command centre, because we're the ones who look after the farmers. Those command centres, and it has a true hierarchy and everything, you follow their lead, but it's predominantly urban. They deal with rural communities, but not with farmers and what happens to farmers during an adverse event. So I spend a lot of time doing that, upskilling myself and working with the other regions, like I said, with the Rural Support Trust nationally, trying to do the communication. And it's really spreading the word about what the Rural Support Trust does. It was 4 years ago, we had young Tom Slee, who his family is very well known down here, and he came to a Rural Support Trust meeting and told us about the concept that Stephen Thompson had put together up in that Gisborne area. And Tom said, look, I know we're at the bottom of the country. I know everybody thinks we're subantarctic, but I reckon we can do it. And so that's how the Southland Rural Support Trust got involved, and I jumped on board straight away. We've actually come on board with Surfing for Farmers this year as a community partner. So the Rural Support Trust there should be representatives at all the beaches this season, and they should be there talking to farmers and generating that awareness of the service that we provide.
Awesome. Rob, just a brief background, where do you farm and what do you farm?
So yeah, I'm born and bred dairy farmer, and my wife and I are 50-50 share milking just north of Atoto, milking 500 cows there. And I've got another season left in our contract. That's our background.
Why did you give Surfing for Farmers a go?
Just wanted to give something a go off farm that wasn't a physical contact sport and just do something different that I've never tried before. As a dairy farmer, we are physical on the farm, but we're never actually like really, really physical. We're not shearing sheep. So getting out into that water and actually getting a lot of muscles working that he had never thought actually had them. The next day is actually, you definitely know they're there. That's one point that's really good, just to be out there and get physical. But just talking with like-minded people and talking about problems is always good out in that water. And that fresh subantarctic water certainly takes all your worries away.
I can imagine you can't think of anything else when that hits you. When was the first time you surfed through Surfing with Farmers?
Be 3 years ago now, I think. Really looking forward to getting back into it this year. It's something a lot of us farmers around the district look forward to.
So are you now hooked?
Absolutely. And yeah, what Katrina's saying is like everyone that I've spoke to just wants to go back for more. It's very addictive, actually. And that's being in the water, but also when you come out and you're standing around just talking, it's just, such good fun.
And when it comes to your routine and balancing life on farm, how does surfing fit into your working day and how do you juggle that?
It fits really well, actually. It's really hard at this time of year to actually get away off farm for a full day, but getting away off farm at night time for a couple hours, and my wife can let me away from the kids for a couple hours after work as well, which is works really well. You've always got to make time for yourself, no matter how you think you don't need it. Everyone needs it just to get off farm and do something that you wouldn't normally give a go. And I think, everyone would benefit from it.
It's really interesting because in those first couple of years, the things that some of the feedback, and we get it every year, but one I definitely remember in the very, very first season when we did it was a couple who were there, and the wife came up later on and she said, look, this is amazing. He came home from this last week and wouldn't stop talking about it. She said, I couldn't get him off farm. I couldn't get him to think, what could he do? What was his outlet to generate some balance in his life? He couldn't work it out for himself. And she just thought, why don't I introduce him? I've told him that, Pete and Bob and Sam were all probably going to be there as well. He came down and she just said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as Rob said, and I've witnessed this myself, people are addicted to it, absolutely addicted.
Yeah. But it's also not just my age group. Like I know a few guys there that are in their late 60s. They're giving it a go and absolutely loving it. So it's for all ages.
Oh, absolutely. There was one couple that came and I knew who they were, and I was a bit I'm like, oh, really? Shows you should never judge a book by your cover. But the big thing is about Southland is, of course, we had this big invasion of dairy farmers from up north back in the 80s and the 90s. So a lot of them have come from coastal towns, already surfed. They just didn't really do it down here because they were slightly inland. And so this has been a great forum for them to...
Opened a lot of doors.
Yeah, definitely. This one couple, and they came again and again and again. She would come without him sometimes. And as Rob said, a real mixture of ages and stages, and the fabulous thing to witness on the beach afterwards is just that networking of just talking to them and saying, and it's not just dairy farmers, we've got sheep and beef as well, and we do have rural professionals on there as well.
The local vet clinic, all the girls go.
Yes, we do. Yes, he does. He has a bit of an entourage, one of our main vet guys, to bring it in. But that's a great networking situation as well. So especially for those, especially in dairying, who are wanting to maybe progress next season, starting to have conversations to say, hey, look, I need to move on because my farm's been sold, or I'm looking at contract milking, or I'm looking at going 50-50 or whatever it is. There's a lot of chatter, not just about your own health, but just about business.
Katrina, how do people get involved? What does a typical session look like, and what can farmers expect?
So over the 4 years, it's actually got bigger and bigger. That first year, of course, we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just following Stephen's guidelines. But since then, what we've been able to develop is a huge following. So we would normally get 30 to 40 people who are new, who are what we classify as newbies, that would come along on the night. But we would end up maybe up to about 70 people coming for a surf that night. Now, a lot of them are farmers who, just like Rob, who have come during those past 4 years, they've generally ended up buying a board. We do recycle our boards, sell them on to farmers at a cheap rate so we can keep getting new boards. So a lot of them come along. They're pretty much doing their own thing, which is great. But the thing that connects everybody after they've had a bit of a paddle and everything and a bit of a surf is coming together on the beach. And we're very, very fortunate that we've got everything sponsored, and we have a barbecue, and we are able to supply some amazing food and beverage, and which generates some amazing conversations landside.
Okay, so it's not just surfing, it's community also.
It most certainly is. There's a number of people who even come who don't actually surf, which is fine. You might find a couple may come and they may have some kids. We don't target it at kids, but kids are welcome, but parents have to keep an eye on them. But some do come. Mum and dad sometimes go tag to go in and out of the surf. Actually, I've got to say, the women, they are the worst of me telling them to get out of the water. The young girls, and when I say young girls, because we're heavily supported by the young farmers clubs down here. That's what I mean, because it's such a broad range of ages and stages. Those young girls, I've got to stand there and tell them to get out. They're turning blue, and they've got to get out, get their wetsuits on, get dressed, and get along to the barbecue. The turnout is fantastic, and generally the weather's not a deterrent, considering we are subantarctic.
Yeah.
But over the years, the numbers have increased, and that's one thing we have to manage on the beach. So we rely on those that have joined up with us over that time, who are experienced, to help us in the water as instructors, to keep an eye on everybody.
So everybody arrives at a certain time, and then what happens then?
We start at 6 o'clock, and we're very lucky that we've got a choice of 3 beaches down here on the southern coast. And so Jess, who's with the Riverton Surf Club, she makes the call generally just after lunch. We put it out. We have a chat via Facebook, and plus we do put it on the Southland Rural Support Trust Facebook page. But many people have their own social media in their different regions to communicate that. We tell everybody 6 o'clock. People generally arrive between 6 and 7 o'clock. They arrive, get all their gear. So we have available wetsuits, we have the boards. For those who have never been in before or just want a bit of a refresher, Jess will give them some instruction on the beach, and she's fabulous with that. So that could take about 15, 20 minutes, depending on what they're doing.
It normally takes me half an hour to get into my wetsuit.
Well, there is that issue. I got to say, that's probably one of my biggest challenges, and I take my hat off to Jess, is when someone comes along and goes, can I have one of the wetsuits? And I'm like, I have no idea who fits what, because it's not obvious. Yeah, but we supply all of that between us, the Southland Committee, and all the regions do this. They either have their own gear or they'll have a surf club. They'll supply all of that. So 6 o'clock, the fabulous thing is down here in the deep, deep south is, of course, we've got daylight saving. So we can go right through. We normally start in November, and we normally go right through until March, just before daylight saving, because, of course, it doesn't get dark till like 10 o'clock. But generally we finish up about 8:30, 9 o'clock on the beach. But we normally get 2 waves. Some come at 6 and some normally come about 7.
What do you think farmers come away with the most, Katrina?
It's amazing. For those who go into the water for the first time and come out, the grin on their face is incredible. And I think it's a number of things. One is they made the decision to come, and they're really excited that they did, really pleased that they did, so it's a positive. 2, they gave something brand new a go. This is a whole new skill for some. But I haven't even got past the bit we're just lying on the board and trying to jump up on my feet. So I take my hat off to those that can do that and then can do it in the water. I think the big thing is the sense of personal achievement, because it's not a competition. No one cares what everybody else looks like.
I've been for 3 years now, and I think I could count on both hands how many times I've actually been up on the board. But it's not about that. It's just about, trying to give it a go.
That's exactly it. And if they're lucky enough, I do try to take lots of photos. There's some of the other Rural Support Trust team do take pics, so we do try to capture that, and I try to take lots of videos so then people can see they're actually how much they've actually come from when they first turned up to how much they actually achieved. But that grin on their face. But I think it's that sense of personal achievement. No one is judging, and they're really excited. They come back again and again and again. I don't think I've ever had anybody come in and go, I hated that. I will never do that again. That has never happened.
A question for both of you, Rob. Let's start with you. For any farmers listening who might be keen to give surfing a go, who've never surfed before, any words of advice or tips or encouragement from your side?
Just do it. Get in that water and give it a go. You'll be like me and just get hooked on it, really.
And Katrina, tips from your side?
Tip from my side. Well, we've got 27 locations this summer throughout the country, and you just need to go to the website, to surfingforfarmers.com, and you can bring up that location. Look, my tip would be go and check out the website and look at the location. I think you'll be surprised where we're operating, where things are actually underway. In the deep south here, we get some people will drive over an hour to get to the beach. The biggie is just give it a go. What do you got to lose? And within farming, and I'm sure it's the same across the country, you're going to run into somebody you know. But if you don't, yeah. See, Rob's making friends all over the place. But then you've got people like myself who are landside, who are going to introduce you to others. But the biggie is go, give it a go, keep an open mind. Our beach is like the United Nations, and so you just never know who you're going to run into.
Rob, a surfing question. When you're on a board, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, how long can I stay on this board, basically? Not that long normally.
Have you got goals that you're setting for yourself maybe for this summer? Like, I want to do A, B, and C, achieve this or that?
Absolutely. It was still small steps. Yeah, just want to get up there and ride that wave. But yeah, see what the season brings.
Yeah, really good to hear that people are getting off farm and getting addicted to something that's healthy and that really forces them to take care of themselves. Katrina, Rob, yeah, thanks for talking surfing. That's super cool, or should I say cowabunga? And good luck on the waves this summer.
We'll see you down here, will we?
Yeah, you will see me down there.
Perfect.
Look, it's fantastic. Please go and look up surfingforfarmers.com or Google it, Surfing for Farmers. You will find it in New Zealand. Go and check it out. You can pre-register. It costs you nothing. It's just time. It's just time. As Rob says, manage your time. Make that Thursday your day to get off.
Make it happen.
And look, before you know it, you will be addicted. And maybe I don't want to do it because I don't want to feel what some of those muscles are going to be like the next day. But hey, give it a go.
You're going to give it a go.
I will. I'll get there. We're very, very fortunate, and we have amazing sponsors nationally and regionally, and it's great to see DairyNZ come on board this year too. Thank you to everyone who's involved. It's saved a lot of farmers' lives, but it's made our lives a lot easier in providing an amazing activity. And as you heard, Rob's absolutely. I'm waiting to see you, Rob, out there this season.
Yeah.
You know, don't cartwheels and flips off your board.
Katrina, Rob, thanks. Have a good day.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Talking Dairy. Check out the show notes for where to go to find out more about Surfing for Farmers, sessions and locations.